Hello, world. We are investigating the mysterious fall of wide receiver prospect Luther Burden, and we got some scoop, which fits right in with our Cowboys draft preview. Today's position, wide receiver. So strap in. Let's get it on. The show starts. Meow. Bom dia, my friends, and welcome in to the DLLS Cowboys podcast, where today is our Cowboys draft preview. Wide receiver is the position.
Chris!
First man in the chat.
Rendon.
Shout out to Chris. And shout out to the guy who said make sure the laptop is plugged in. That's a back in the day, Jeff, on YouTube thing. When I was doing everything off of a laptop, and sometimes I wouldn't realize it wasn't charged. The stream would just end because my laptop died.
Damn.
We're doing better now.
Sound like me.
Hit the like and subscribe button. Please, please, please. You happy with the Cowboys wide receivers? I see somebody in there.
Oh, did we? I'm sorry to cut you off. Did we make our mark yesterday? Did we get to 20,000?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We did?
Oh, yeah. 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, baby.
Now we're looking for 30, baby. We're looking for 30.
But today's is also on my personal channel, which is almost to 41,000. So if you can subscribe,
let's get up there. Let's get up there.
Need like 15 or something like that, okay?
Okay.
But it's not about me. Make sure you're subscribed to youtube.com/@DLLS.
I'm going to go subscribe to
I'm
you
on
right now.
George has already jumped out there for us, $4.99.
Good morning, nation. Why not start the
Cowboys
day
nation.
with
Start
a
Line of hopium. Cowboys hopium.
Get your
Start
good
hopium.
line of hopium. Yeah,
Hopium.
yeah. Jalen Tolbert's a number 2. No, Jonathan Mingo is a number 2.
You said hopium.
Tolbert's a 3. And you got
Oh,
Turbin.
no, I know what you're
In
doing.
the line of hopium.
Hello, all. Hit the like button. My name is Jeff. Seated next to former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
Seated next to the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys who's got some scoops. Clarence Hill.
Club hop hop, where legends drop. Clarence Hill just can't stop. Breaking news, you gotta hop in Club hop hop.
Seated next to him is the second greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, but he's really nipping at his heels. It's Joe Hoyt.
Tell him something, Joe.
Yeah, I did. I was
He
like,
just chomped. Yeah, he did.
So we were talking about yesterday, and we've been watching as the world of mock drafts when it comes to the big name guys that are plugged in. They're giving you information when they make a bunch of mock drafts. If you see things that are consistent, you see a name that starts off high, and as the months go on, for everybody, it goes lower and lower and lower. Something's going on, and you don't know what. So it's the mysterious case of Missouri wide receiver Luther Burden, who coming into the year was going to be a top 10 player, didn't have a big season. Their team was pretty iffy. And in the last month or two, you've been watching and today in Mel Kiper's mock draft, he goes in the second round. And so, yeah, we've been seeing that happening. And it's very muddled whispers about there's, it's just kind of a what? And so we sent Scoops McGee on the case.
Scoops McGee here. Here to find the truth. Clarence Hill's on the case.
And here's Clarence with scoopage that he hasn't told us yet. He's just like, I found out some stuff.
I haven't told you yet.
What a tease that was, by the way.
Teasing us.
It's funny because it better,
better
be
be
funny.
funny.
When you talk about the plug, so my friends would tell you often we're on the cell phone when my phone dies because it's not charged.
Yep. Yeah.
You happened to you?
Oh,
last
100%
week?
literally happened. I was like, oh, he gone.
See, I don't understand with phones, because if you're not charging your phone overnight, what are you doing? And if your phone's dying over the course of a single day, you need to upgrade and get into the 2024 Razor.
I
life.
try, but I'm always all your apps. It drains the battery.
Yeah.
I did charge my phone. I'm on 20% now, so I don't know.
20. It is 11 a.m.
I don't know what happened. Anyway,
I'm at 27.
It's 11 a.m.
The Scoop Brothers.
Anyway, so
I'm at 89.
So talking about, I made some calls on a couple of people yesterday. Matt Golden. I wondered why he was not at Cowboys 30 visit or anything like that. And so I called his agent. Yeah. His agent is also CeeDee Lamb's agent. Tory Dandy.
He's doing well.
And
he is.
He said he hasn't had a lot of contact with the Cowboys, but the Cowboys know everything they need to know about him.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
About Golden.
But he has not had a lot of contact with the Cowboys. So the people that are trying to push Golden to 12, the Cowboys have not had a lot of contact with Golden. He's visiting other teams. Certainly a lot of talk about him being in the top 15, even high as 12, but he's not had a lot of contact with the Cowboys.
Is it recky-specky to assume, just from a marketing standpoint, a Texas wide receiver staying in Texas? Like you would think about, because I'm thinking marketing, I'm thinking jersey sales. Mm-hmm. You have to believe that there are probably, maybe, a lot of UT fans that live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that will be coming to these games.
And the catchphrase is the golden age of Cowboys football.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh.
They got a Red River tandem between him and CeeDee Lamb.
But because I remember when I talked to Shotty when he told me he was going to Ole Miss.
Red River tandem is kind of fire.
Red River tandem hits.
Every year for receiving yards, it's a Red River rivalry.
When I talked to Shotty at the Micah Parsons deal, and he said he was going to Ole Miss. And
you didn't go to the party afterwards?
Yeah, when his phone died, he was too sleepy.
He was going to Ole Miss, and he's going to A&M, and he said, we know everything we need to know about that. I said, why you not going to Austin? Got those draft picks. He said, we know everything we need to know. We got plenty of intel on Texas guys.
And I think that's fair.
So this fits in with that.
I think that's fair. Like you get pre-draft, you get 30 visits. Yeah. And I do think a lot of times if you have a prospect that is clean, you're like, we're good. Like there's nothing we need to talk to him about. There's nothing we have questions about. And I do think that happens. But just the fact that they are visiting all of the other top wide receivers, it's like,
Yeah, why? Yeah.
And reminder, one counter to that too. They do have 2 Texas guys doing pre-draft visits in Makuba and Alfred Collins. So
might have questions for him.
I know.
Right.
Just interesting.
So getting back to Burden, and I have a contact at Missouri. He says that Burden, that he's not a problem child.
What percentage is your phone at right now, everybody? I want to know in the chat.
I got the red dot, so I'm trying to get through the show. Yeah. I'm trying to get through the show.
Let me bait people for the algorithm.
Live life on low power mode.
So,
what's your percentage on your phone right now?
As far as Burden, he's a good kid. Not a bad kid. Doesn't go out. Doesn't do don't run the street. So it's not anything off the field. Okay. It's just that he's really laid back. He's not a Dez Bryant type in practice. He's really laid back.
We got a Amari Cooper situation.
He's at the back of the line. When it do the drills.
Right.
He not a great practice player. A lot of scouts came to practice and they saw he was not a good. He did not turn it up in practice, and so that's the only thing he could think of. He's dynamic when the lights come on, as you saw, but certainly not a problem child. Comes from a poor family, but just kind of just laid back. Just a laid back kid. He's not a dog in a sense. And when I talk about dog, I'm talking about he's really goes after it, not necessarily a dog type player, but
it's interesting to me.
It better be interesting
because I guess you can't let play style determine what you think somebody's personality is. Because you would think the guy who, out of all the top receivers in this class, once the ball's in his hands and it's your job to tackle him,
right?
You'd be like, that's the dog.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right. So he has a Debo. He says, he's a running back receiver. So obviously he's a receiver, things to be refined, kind of like Debo. He needs to be, taught how to be a professional. He needs to go somewhere with a number 1 receiver that can teach him how to be professional. But he's not a bad kid. He's just laid back, and his body language is not what you want. And again, he's at the back of the line on drills.
Well, that goes to the point.
And your number 1 receiver should be at the front of the line. You don't want him at the back of the line.
You're going to visit him.
And he said a lot of scouts came to practice this year, and they saw it.
Yeah. But that goes back to your point where you were saying when you watched him on film, you would see at points of time in the game where he was just like, the ball would be like not be really there, and he kind of like a little bit lackadaisical going to get it.
Yeah.
And I was defending it like, maybe sometimes you look around and you're like, man, I'm not running cardio out here today.
But he do that in practice.
He do that in practice. So that when you see it in practice and you see it on the film at times, you start putting together, and maybe you're saying this. The term at times comes out as lazy.
Yeah.
He's guy's not a lazy guy, not a good practice player. Yeah. Lacks that dog that you.
But the talent is the talent is there, and he can be a special player, but he just needs to get with the right people. and get around the right people, right around organization, right system to get that out in the field. But he's not a bad kid. He's not a problem child. It's nothing that you're waiting for the other shoe to drop that something bad is coming out on him.
It's more of a, hey, wake up.
Can you wake him up? That's my question. I mean, because the one concern, to your point, Jesse, with him is finishing routes. You know, it's like, oh, hey, our route's not coming my way. I'm done. Yeah. And I wonder, too, with the team that wants to run the ball, and I actually haven't watched him as a run blocker, frankly, but, like, that doesn't seem to tell me that he's going to be a guy, I'm not getting the ball this play. I'm going to drag this guy 10 yards downfield.
Here's a part that can help him out. Because when you get into the league and you kind of have that – see, when you're the guy, and the rest of the guys on that team are following you or not as talented as you, they know that the rest of this roster sucks. No one's really gonna step to you and be like, "Come on, bro! Like you gotta step it up and do more." You know what I mean? They'll let you be in the back of the line because,
especially when the lead receiver on Missouri last year, I don't know if you guys know this name. He's actually from Allen.
Theo Weiss.
It ended up being Theo Weiss, who had been an OU guy.
He was a top recruit coming to high school.
He was a very high recruit, and he underachieved for 5 years.
Right.
And that last year at Missouri, when Burden had already had a giant year, I don't think that maybe a 6th-year guy who had underachieved would be a guy who does that. I don't know, but I would think like. You're not going to go mess with him. You're worried about your own stuff.
Right, but then you get into an NFL locker room and you have a guy like CeeDee Lamb. It's like, hey, come on, bro. Let's, you have Dak Prescott as a leader on offense. You have guys like that that'll kind of, push you to kind of always want to be at the front of the line. Because here's the thing. If CeeDee's the 1 and Luther's the 2, and let's just use, for example, pat and go, throwing routes on air.
Don't pat the ball. Don't pat the ball.
Pat and go, routes on air, one-on-ones. When Dak Prescott comes up to go, here's who he's not looking to throw the ball to. Me. Yeah. Right? It's watch out. Luther, let's go.
Yeah.
If I got 2 throws, my 2 throws are going to be CeeDee, Luther. Right. The Jesse Hollies of the world, you got to go with Joe Milton, and you got to go with
Will Greer, baby.
Will Greer. Like that's where you get your reps at. Right. So it's like you won't be allowed to lack in the back of the line. You won't be allowed to stay back there because Dak's going to be saying, like, if you guys are going to be the guys that I go to, I got 2 reps to this one. My 2 reps will go to these 2 guys. And then the next period, if I got 7 plays in a 14-play period, or I got 10 plays in a 14-play period, what I'm not trying to do is waste my 7 plays trying to figure out if Flournoy is going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get the reps in with my new guy.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's something that I've noticed as covering this team. Because back in the day, Troy's only throwing the top receivers. He only worked with the first team on the top receivers. Same thing with Tony. He was not, and to your point, he was not throwing to the 4th and 5th receivers. He was only throwing to the 1 and 2s. Under Mike McCarthy, that's changed a little bit because Dak would throw to the other guys. And that's something that's changed in training camp.
That's because there were no other good receivers.
Well, I understand that, but one point is, I'm saying I know Tony would only if Tony's up there is the starting receivers, the only ones he's throwing to. That's his point. And I'm saying in the last couple of years of training camp, that's not been the case. Under Mike McCarthy, Dak would be throwing to the other guys, and not just
my guy Jalen Cropper, baby.
But
wasted rep.
But I would think he could use the Brandon Cooks, and I know because CeeDee's kind of laid back too. I know he's the number 1 guy, but he's not a Brandon Cooks. As far as the leader, as far as the receiver room, which is why they brought in Brandon Cooks. And hopefully CeeDee's ready to take that next step and be that leader of the receiver room that could help a guy like that.
Paris Campbell got him.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, we have to have a larger conversation.
You never know. You never know.
Not about Paris, but that.
But he also talked about Mimbo, who was an offensive lineman at Missouri, who was just
been projected in the top 10 a lot.
You don't like him. But
no. I don't. There's a difference. Okay. I don't like him the way I don't like Amarion Hampton. I don't like that he keeps getting mock draft picked 7th overall and like the first offensive lineman off the board. I like him.
Yeah.
Cowboys at 44, good pick. Top 10, I'm like, whew.
A lot of people got him high.
Yeah.
Way higher than 44.
Yeah.
So he said Mimbo is a true dog. He will dirt you. He will dirt you in practice. He will dirt you in walkthrough. You got to tell, hey, dude, we don't get nobody hurt today. He said he reminds him of like the Larry and old
Brock
school.
Hoffman,
Old school. Well, he got more talent. But he reminds you of the old school 90s Cowboys offensive lineman, Eric Williams, that were nasty. And he is a guy that's nasty. And that will get after you. And so he's very aggressive in that respect.
That's interesting.
Mimbo.
That's interesting because I didn't see that.
I can't.
I'm just saying what he said.
I don't think. I'm not saying anybody.
He's there every day.
I can't.
I'm just going to be wrong. He is going to be the best offensive lineman in the class, and I'll be like, I'm sorry. I thought he was like the 4th best one.
I'm with you, Jeff.
Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, we're going to talk about this Cowboy wide receiver room and preview the draft need that they have, the most likely way that it's going to go, all of those things. Who you want to be wide receiver number 2, put it in the chat. It's all next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
Save a horse and ride a cowboy. The rodeo, the richest weekend in rodeo returns for 1 weekend only at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Don't miss the world. Top rodeo athletes compete against the brightest rising stars in the sport for over $3 million in prize money. Come for the rodeo, stay for the party. The hottest stars in country music take the stage all weekend long. Hurry up, go right now to AmericanRodeo.com and get your tickets for April 11th and 12th at Globe Life Field. Over 150 rodeo athletes compete over the 2 days for a shot at $1 million. Who will be the next rodeo millionaire? This isn't another Texas rodeo. There's only one place to see every reigning world champion compete. That's at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. So head over right now at AmericanRodeo.com and get your tickets today. It's a rodeo and it's a party. You got to be there.
Shout out to our friends at HelloFresh as well. It is, they're the best in the world at what they do. Hold on, I just need the exact phrase. Yeah. America's #1 meal kit, which I love because I hate grocery stores. So if you can slap all that together for me and make it very easy for me to do my eating, I sure do appreciate my friends over there at HelloFresh, where you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients, seasonal recipes, and it's delivered right to your doorstep, so you don't have to go to the grocery store. You can count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit, and they have all sorts of different things for you. They've got 15-minute meals, prep and bake meals, ready-made meals, all sorts of different varieties for you depending on your diet or how much work you want to put into it. It's our friends at HelloFresh where you can get up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/Cowboys10FM. 1 item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. HelloFresh. All right, it's the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and we are previewing the Cowboys draft at wide receiver, which means we'll take a look at what they already have on the team,
receiver.
How big is the need, and how do they need to handle it. We are interested in the chat in who you want on this team. Tyreek, we got somebody trying to get us some Tyreek Hill in here.
Well, he's been chirping and looks like, like he wants to be traded out of Miami again. After he apologized,
he changed his mind.
Yes, he's been chirping. He's been tweeting a lot of stuff about that.
I don't want that energy.
Too sometimey for me.
I don't want that energy.
I don't either.
If you're
until
sometiming with
playing.
me, I'm no timing with you. As old folks, you sometiming with me, I'm no timing with
That's
you.
a bar. I like that.
I'm
Old school.
I like that bar.
I know what Tyreek Hill brings, but I just
Speed.
he's just a
Touchdowns.
headache, man. I just don't want to deal with no more headaches.
I do if he will be Tyreek Hill from 2 years ago and 3 and 4 and all those times when he was amazing. I guess I was just Tua got hurt, huh? And Tyreek got banged up too. Whatever. Is he washed? He's like 32 now.
Close.
I don't know.
Close. I mean, he's still fast.
Okay.
That's the thing. Is like when when you're 4.2, when you start getting washed, you get down to 4.4.
Right.
It still makes you above average fast.
Still running by people.
That's a great point.
Cowboys current roster at wide receiver: CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, Jonathan Mingo, Kavontae Turpin, Paris Campbell, Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Brooks. I think that's all the names that are relevant.
CD and a bunch of maybes.
I do love
I've been
Jalen
saying that
Crawford.
a long time. CD and a bunch of maybes.
If there's one name outside of CD in that group that you have hope for,
Hope.
you want who wanted? I don't know who wanted the line of hopium today. If
Hopium.
there's one receiver that you look at and you go, man, I there is some hope left in him that they will be. Don't do that.
No, I was saying I don't appreciate you over here hosting.
Whoa.
I asked you a question I wanted to ask you.
Whoa.
Why you going to ask me a question? I want to ask you the question. You asked me the question when I wanted to ask the question to you.
We've been fighting on this
So?
show today.
No.
My answer is
No.
I don't really have one. Like, I think the most reliable next option is Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah.
It's Tolbert.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to tell you, like, you're going to line up on the first play of a game, and a lot of time, they could run 2 tight ends, but mostly you play with 3 wide receivers. Who are they? If they were lining up.
Right now?
Yeah, which 3 are walking on the field for the first play of a game if they're in 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers?
It's CD, it's Jalen Tolbert, and then I think it's either Paris Campbell or Kavontae Turpin.
No.
I think they'd give Mingo a shot.
Well, but is he gonna do nothing?
No,
do
that's
something
not
with
what
it?
he said.
They didn't
That's not
give
what he
Mingo
just said.
shots.
I
Who's
think
lining
Turpin-
up?
I have no
still
hope for Mingo.
So the guy who said to start the day with the line of hopium, like I think that's the Kevontae Turpin thing.
Right.
We've all been clamoring for it, but I don't think his role will change. He'll be what he is. It won't be a top 3. He'll play his 15 to 20 snaps, and they'll have some ideas on trying to do some stuff with him. But I just don't think they'll ever run him out there as one of their
but in 11
50 snaps a game.
But in
guy.
11 personnel, how many snaps are we running 11 personnel this game?
50.
You think 50?
Yeah, 45, 50 if there's 70 plays a game.
So 50-50 chance then he's on there for the first one.
Who that?
Terp. 50-50 chance if he's
No.
on. 15 to 20 snaps, 50 snaps of 11 personnel.
Maybe
Okay,
70
okay,
chance.
okay.
All right, I'll take it.
Okay, you want one? You want my that would be cool?
I know what you about. Go ahead.
Flournoy.
Yeah, you're asking.
They are looking. They've been looking so hard. Think about the physical profile of Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Brooks, Jonathan Mingo. Boy, this team is trying real hard to find 6'2", 215.
It is.
Yeah.
And is any of them able to be that? I don't think so. But they're stacking them up like club sandwiches, trying to find a net.
He's 7th-round pick for a reason.
Yeah. Well, but
Tom
Tom Brady's
Brady's
a 6th-round pick. Now what?
Yeah, it's a good call.
Hall of Famer, huh?
He's also
said,
yeah. He's a 7th-round pick who hasn't done anything yet.
Rocky Marciano. I always want to bring that one out. Whenever I talk about
Joe
Bro,
Montana.
A broke clock is worked twice a day. Okay?
Joe Montana.
A broke clock is right twice a day. Okay, that was a broke clock.
Where was
okay?
T.O. drafted?
Broke clock.
Yeah, third round.
Was he 3rd round?
think it was
Yeah,
third
he
round.
was 7th round, but
Cole Beasley.
I think that third receiver though, slot receiver.
I'll take
I
Cole
think
Beasley
that-
over all of them right now.
I think when Dak has been at his best, he has a tight end as Alanis' blanket,
I agree.
and they need Ferguson to do what. No, they need Ferguson.
Tyler Warren.
They need. Well, I'm just talking about. We're talking about guys on the roster. The question was about guys on the roster.
Don't do that.
No, I'm with you.
Don't piss me off.
The question was about don't
piss me
be
off.
mad about Warren.
Don't piss me off.
But the question was about guys on
I'd
the
be mad
roster.
about Warren.
I'm in a good mood. Don't piss
I
me off
think
this
that you need Ferguson to be what we thought he was going to be last year.
For sure.
I agree with that.
You know,
For
when Dak was at his best, your boy in Houston, I can't think of his name right now.
Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz had
He had
70, 80
he had-
catches.
He had 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. That
Right.
was the year they had a 1,000-yard running back, a 1,000-yard receiver. Amari Cooper had
Right.
800,
Right.
900 yards.
And-
Schultz had
Right.
850 yards.
Right.
And then he got to go do what he really wanted to do. Get to the house, smack some kids on Fortnite.
That's right.
That's what
Okay.
Dalton likes to do.
I'm glad you had Fortnite at
I'm
the end of that.
so glad.
I was a little
I'm
worried.
So glad
The
that
bottom-
Fortnite
the
came behind
Smack
me.
his children.
There was a couple different paths that could have gone, and I'm glad we
I
ended.
thought you.
Yeah.
I thought he was.
The
The
dead.
first
yeah,
one,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
The bottom line is Ferguson. They need that tight end. That line is blanket. Dak is really needs that seam guy when
Yeah.
hitting shorts in the seam, and that's his throw. That's one of his best throws, the seam.
I
You
think
know
there's
who
hope. I think there's hope for Ferguson too,
You know
because
who- go ahead.
yeah, because I mean, if you look at what happened last year, I think it was just a wonky year for him. He sprains his knee in
Early.
week 1. He comes back early, which I didn't really agree with, to be honest with
It
you.
got bad after the concussion.
And then he
Yeah.
got the concussion. So he came back early. Then he got the concussion, and the concussion really. I mean, he talked about it. Like it was. He woke up like scared sometimes because
Crying. He said
crying. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was a weird. I think it was a really, really weird year. And I
Welcome
think
to
in
my
a
world,
contract
baby.
season.
Sometimes you wake up crying.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not fun.
No,
I hear you.
but contract year for him. I think that this could be a big year for Ferguson still.
You know who catch the hell out of that seam route? Teteroa McMillan. I'm just telling
would.
you. I'm just telling you.
I'm just saying, if you can.
Yeah, I mean, I like a big receiver. I mean, the question we have to ask ourselves, though, with the Cowboys as we looking at these receivers on this draft is if they don't get one at 12 or they don't get one on a move back in the first round to get your agenda, they are not going to get one at 44. You're not going to get a number 2 for CeeDee at 44. And so you either have to move up in the second round
Yeah.
or, again, you have to get something in the first round or bottom of the first round if you don't get one at 12. But you have to, if you're really looking to improve yourself as receiver behind CeeDee, you got to do it before 44.
This draft is so weird, man, because you know how many receivers went even last year in a receiver class that people were like, in terms of the top guys. You know how many receivers went by 44 last year?
I bet 6 or 7.
10. 10 receivers were gone by 44. How
Right.
many are going to be gone this year by 44?
And this
I
and
would
this
say
draft is,
4, 3 or
maybe
4?
5.
and as we talked about it, but so how many receivers on this draft, where would they fit in last year's class? If you had to
Last year's
rank 'em.
class, I'll do it the way that I had them ranked. Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr.,
Wow.
and then I think everybody in this class,
and maybe Worthy.
all of the top 4 would be 5th. So they'd be 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, right in there with Xavier Worthy and whoever else was right there. Yeah, I think the top receiver in this class last year is the 5th receiver.
Right, and you got the kid in Buffalo.
Keon Coleman. You got Ladd McConkey.
And Ladd McConkey should have been higher than what he was.
Yeah, Ladd balled out.
Can play.
Ricky Pearsall was a first-rounder. He obviously had a weird year.
Yeah, I think McConkey, I would have Keon below all 4 of these guys. McConkey be in the mix with them. But yeah, and that's what we're talking about picking at 12.
And I don't know where in the kid in Carolina, I don't know where you put him or where you had him.
A little bit lower, Leggett.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I want him and Keon Coleman to have a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love the way they talk.
I'm in.
I love the way they talk.
Yeah.
Leggett is the Bayou man, right?
He's
He's
from South Carolina.
He's
country. He's country.
He sounds like he has absolutely.
Coleman's from the Bayou.
Okay, they both sound like they've been on a boat that's powered by a fan. That's what I know.
I don't think there'd be a period in a conversation between both.
And Randy Moss is the host of that podcast.
I'm in.
We're Rand.
Brand you.
Let him get cut.
Yeah, no, it'd be. But yeah, they got to get one again because this draft is not deep receivers, certainly not high end receivers that can help you early. And we need someone that's going to help early and be able to play behind CeeDee Lamb. You're not waiting at 44 to do that.
No, probably not. I agree with you. I think it's if you want to feel really good that you've got your number 2 wide receiver, that guy's name is Teteroa McMillan, Emeka Ibuka, Luther Burden, Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
Those 4, I feel really good that the day we get to camp, you'll walk out there and go, yep, that's the second best dude out here. And then we'll probably we'll carry over. But I can give you 6 or 7 names, maybe.
For sure.
And when I asked Jerry last week about finding a running mate for CD, he was like, we might be able to do it in the draft.
You also aren't allowed to have to do something with a pick, Jerry. I don't like that. You
I
should have already done something.
I agree. But we talked about it the other day. I mean, as much as you want the best player available, you're going to bring your draft prospects based on the needs you have. You look at all the receivers they brought in for the 30 visits, all the running backs. They're targeting positions.
For sure. I know. I get it. You want to know all of the guys at all the positions that you need, but I also think they should know better than anybody when you were picking in the top 12. And it is a weird draft for this because I do think that it might make sense because you're going to think that the 12th guy and the 30th guy, it's like, pretty close.
It's like when you're dating at the bar, you want somebody with good personality, but you're going to target a certain type.
Well, yeah, but kind of. Not if you're doing team building right. If you're doing team building right,
I said when you're at the bar, you're targeting a certain type.
You take CeeDee when he falls in your lap. You take Micah when he's the best player.
Yes, you take Halle Berry when she falls.
They needed a corner. They took Micah Parsons.
There's also a 100% chance that 3 of the receivers are going to be there at least.
That are going to be what?
At 12. There's a 100% chance that 3 of the receivers are going to be there.
Yeah. And I don't know the exact percentage, but I'd say it's about 70% that all of them are there.
Exactly.
That would be my guess.
So, I mean, theoretically, I know you don't draft for need, right? And if someone falls, you take them. But that's a good place to kind of be waiting and to target a type.
And I'm with T-Mac. Hit T-Mac on his agenda because I think Dak throws a lot of
Jason,
I'm sorry. He throws a lot of contested balls.
That's 20 bomb. He gets it. Jason.
Jason.
Does he want to be in Club Pop Pop, you think?
Put him in Club Pop.
Give him some Pop.
No. 20?
He comments. He super chats a lot.
Yeah, but
I
anyway.
think accumulation gets him in the club.
I think the 20, it's 50 and up, 40.
Listen now.
He's gone over 50. Definitely.
I don't know what clubs you guys been to, but if we just keep letting anybody in there, the color really has to change for you to get VIP.
The color in the super chat has changed.
He's
it's like
talking
a green.
about 50.
Green from blue. You're thinking we need to have
That's
when
an
it's
aquamarine.
gold.
Okay, we want to read it.
We love it though. Nonetheless, beggars can't be choosy. But
T-Mac makes the most sense. It was discussed ad nauseum how Dak needed to throw every ball perfect because the throwing windows were so tight. Get Dak a guy that can just go get it without the ball being perfect. And that's the thing. We can go round and round. Do you want the guy who's a better separator, or do you want the guy that can erase your mistakes? It kind of works either way. Just be really good at that.
Okay,
I need a guy that can make contested catches.
Wait. Let me say this.
I'd rather never make a contested catch.
Thank you.
It's the NFL. There's a lot of contested catches.
Here's the thing. Let's talk about the quarterback that we have. Okay, if we're putting him in a position that we have to rely on contested catches, percentages say that one of those or 2 of those will be tipped.
Yes, and
overthrows
and
interceptions.
Right.
So for me, give me the guy who is going to consistently run routes to create separation. So now I have a window to allow me to fail a little bit.
Yeah.
If the window is there, I don't have to make it perfect. I can be a step ahead. I can be a little bit behind because my window is there. But if I'm throwing into contested windows over and over and over again, we saw the outcome of that. We've seen it. We've been a part of it. We watched it happen. We watched tips and overthrows and interceptions and pick sixes, and it ended the season for us.
Yeah.
I'm just when your route running percentage last year, where there was less than 2 yards, less than a yard of separation between every single one of your throws from your receivers.
Yeah, it's bad.
That's bad. That's bad football, and it's going to cost you in the long run. Yes, we will have highlight plays and because Tedero and McMillan went up and he mossed somebody. It'll be on.
He will catch a ball that Jalen Brooks didn't.
Right. It'll be on, you got lost. It'll have a segment on there. But what they won't show is the ones that was incomplete, the ones that I got interception, the ones that were tips, picks, and overthrows.
One caveat to that, though, really quickly, is you go watch his contested catches last year. He catches them at a high rate. Yeah. It's a higher than most.
Okay,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And my thing is, and you guys are the analytics guys. Okay,
don't you put that on me?
Huh?
Don't you put that on me?
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna get you a guy that can do both.
How many throws are you get a lot of separation? I mean, in the NFL, the windows are mostly going to be tight.
That depends how good your coordinator is.
I understand that, and what I want to know is this offense. And I don't think that's on the quarterback. I think it's been on this offense where for years it's only been tight window throws. And so I'm talking about last 3 years, 2-3 years.
There were times when
you
curls.
When
you had
CeeDee Lamb
and Amari Cooper running routes, there was a lot of windows there.
But a lot of stop rights. But I've seen Amari Cooper catch, throw that ball in that slant. It's a lot of stop routes, a lot of curls, a lot of stuff like that they have tight window throws in this offense. And if you're going to have that in this offense, I want a guy that can make those catches. We have too many. He's thrown too many tight window throws. Love Brandon Cooks. If I go back to the Green Bay game, he's too small. Yeah. You're getting bullied by a big cornerback.
Jesse, if they get Emeka Ibuka, I want you to know that I'm making Slant God T-shirts.
Give me one XL, please.
He is Slant God. Coming up next, let's finish up the wide receiver preview. We'll go through some of your chats and super chats. We got Mel Kiper's newest mock draft. Could what he is projecting again really happen? It's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
And we all here at the table want professionals. I prefer a professional right runner. But if you are in the market for flooring, you want professionals. And where should you go?
Wood.
You should go to EmpireToday.com. Whether you want wood, laminate, carpet, vinyl, whatever it is, they have the professional experts, dedicated flooring professionals who are focused on flooring every single day. Not these guys who come in and out. The hiring is always in and out. These guys are professional and they can set you up.
Stick your head back in. Did you want some plumbing done?
Yeah, no. Oh. These guys are, we've all been to the big box stores. You wander this endlessly aisle upon aisle, and then they have all these hauling materials for your home, but you never quite get what you want. Head on over to EmpireToday.com, and if you use our promo code DLLS, you can get $350 off flooring today. Free home estimate today because some things are just better at home. Head over to EmpireToday.com, use the promo code DLS and get $350 off.
Go download the Sleeper app on your telephone. We love us some Sleeper. As you can see on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, play $5, get $55 if you use the promo code DLLS Boys. What is Sleeper? It's the best fantasy league platform out there, but also it's where you go to make picks. It's where you go to do your daily fantasy stuff. Put your ball knowledge to the test. Whatever sport you like, they got things on there for you to pick. Baseball, you can go in and say, I think Corey Seager is going to have more total bases than projected. I think Nathan Eovaldi is going to have more strikeouts than projected.
Pop killed Corey Seager the other day.
Pop killed Corey Seager?
He killed him. Remember? He's
gone. He did. Yeah. That's okay.
Gone.
He bounced back. He hit a home run yesterday.
Back in the box.
I forgot. What's in the box? Download the Sleeper app. Use the promo code DLLS. The more picks that you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. Love our friends at Sleeper. The promo code you need is DLLS Boys. All right, I do want to knock out the super chats and work our way through if the Cowboys aren't going to use a first-round pick on a wide receiver. But let's hit these super chats. We do appreciate you guys being here. Please hit the like button while you're here. Why? Because we like it. It's good for the algorithm, and we appreciate it.
And Jason, I appreciate your 20. I really do. I'm not
being
you tore
picky. Down his 20, didn't you?
No, I want to lift it back up.
Kind of tore down his 20.
I'm just,
The Lunatic. Need my Die Hard and Club Pop Pop carrying card. Here's the thing: $2 ain't gonna get you into Club Pop Pop or
But you
carrying
get
card.
you get your carrying card if you are a member.
But
Die Hard.
You got to be a Die Hard member, and you will
have-
get your carrying card.
And you do have my eternal love because the Lunatic is a good, strong watcher / listener.
Appreciate you.
Ozzy Bouncer Clarence hasn't let me in Club Pop Pop. That's the way it
we
goes.
need more than
$2 ain't gonna get it.
We
You
need
can't
more
get
than $1.99, buddy.
Club Pop Pop got a cover charge.
Yeah.
YouTube different. Hey, Aaron. Watched every target for Luther Burden from 23 and 24. Counted 3 interceptions where he didn't finish his route and it screwed his bad QB. That's tough, if that's true.
Yeah.
If that's true, Aaron. Are you being honest with us?
His quarterback was a problem last year.
Aaron, but not Aaron. Aaron is in the super chat. Womp, womp.
Nice. Womp,
Let's
womp.
roll out Big Tet with little Tink Tink and Turpy Speed.
Oh my God.
Who's Tink Tink?
I don't know.
Deuce. Little Tank Tank. I call him Little Tank Tank.
Okay,
I call him Deuce Little
You
Tank
call him
Tank.
Tank Tank?
I call him Tank Tank.
He's
Yeah.
dropping a deuce.
Tink Tink was because he had metal
Yeah,
legs.
I know, but it just feels right.
Okay.
Dropping
It feels
a deuce.
right.
Knights in the super chat. Does Dak want a short field or a number 2 wide receiver more? That's a good question. I mean, if he,
Help me understand. What do you
I
mean?
don't know what the short field
what he's
means.
saying is, would you rather like get help on defense and you get a shorter field?
Oh,
'cause
okay.
you
I got
ball?
you. I got you.
I guess.
Vance is in the super chat. Our
Dak don't
tight-
care about defense. He wants offense.
Yeah. Look, Dak is going to be okay if his career keeps going the way it's gone, where he's like, I did great.
Yeah. I mean, like defense. Just don't let him score. Give me whatever field you want. Just keep him out the end zone.
Vance, are tight windows a talent or scheme issue?
I think it's more
Both.
scheme in
Yes.
the Cowboys.
No, it's
I would say
for the Cowboys?
yes.
Oh.
If you run curls and slants, you're not going to have huge windows most of the
Stop
time.
routes.
Yeah, but
One thing that
I don't know
I
how
certainly
much-
But if
Brandon,
you have receivers,
Brandon
I don't know
Cook,
how much help
set up a
but
route.
Brandon Cook complained about the stop route. Now we went across the routes; he was open, but the stop routes and having a
I have no comment because I think Brandon Cooks is a very nice person.
yes.
great
Stop
personality is what you're saying?
I think Brandon Cooks
Don't-
expected a
Don't
little bit more than was deserved.
he got a decent contract.
No.
He did.
I just think that
Where's the age? He got a decent
the
contract.
thought of Brandon Cook's thought of himself is a little bit greater than what others may think of him.
I agree. I think he got older. He became less explosive. The change of the direction wasn't the same. He couldn't run by people really. And it's like, I'm sorry that we didn't build the offense around you, but we have a guy that's
But
better.
if you have him on the field, why you want him on stop route?
because
Okay?
that's our offense.
that's the problem
Yeah.
because it's your offense and it doesn't take advantage of the skills of the players you have on the field.
You know the beauty of being super fast? You can run past people. You know when people know you can run past them, you know it becomes open?
Everything
Underneath.
Stop routes.
I agree.
But they ain't scared of you no
since
more.
you know they're not scared of him and you've been watching him in practice and in games and you still run those same routes with him, that's on you now. That's a you problem. That ain't a Brandon Cooks problem. Brandon Cooks is what he is.
I
Okay,
do
you
want-
put him on the field and run those stop routes, that's on you.
Stop routes are very common in football.
I understand that, but when everybody's
You're going to
running,
run some stop routes.
but it's on both sides. When everybody's running stop routes and you're not
everybody's
opening
wrong.
things up,
Everybody's wrong in the picture.
and yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's on you.
They
and
run
now.
too many for
we,
sure.
We know what he is. We've watched him. We've seen it. He's not running about nobody. So let's do something different.
This is why one of the different. Never mind. We won't even get into the coaching aspect of it.
The NFL
Yeah.
gets tough when you
That's a
when
whole
you're
nother
small,
conversation.
not super fast.
Get-
You
and
don't
old.
change direction great.
I don't want.
What
Turpin,
you want to run, Brandon?
But I don't want Turpin 5'7" but running the stop route.
Well, you have to sometimes.
I'm just saying though, when you're
No, you're.
it's too
I
many times on
understand.
third down, and then so the defense back and bully him. I mean, like I don't want
I say
a short receiver.
I agree with the point you're making.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
We got Benjamin Dooling.
We got Benjamin in the super chat. Trade back to 18 or 22. Draft a Buka. Pick up an extra second.
You ain't
Draft a
getting a second.
corner and Travion. Dream
getting a
scenario. I agree with that.
You ain't
If
getting
you
a
can
second.
get a second, if you get a trade partner, I'm with you.
You ain't getting a second.
In theory, around 22, I think is the number. 22 or 23, somewhere around there is where. No. I think it's around 20 is where, in theory, on a trade chart. And we talked about this before the show.
Mhm.
In a draft like this one, if the guy you're picking at 12, you feel very similar to what you would pick at 21, 22, 18, 19, be willing to lose on a value chart just to, like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if you think, oh, we got him on the value chart. Fine, I'm picking the exact same caliber player and I got an extra pick.
Which is
in
smart.
my mind, I won. You can say that you won on a calculator. I don't give a crap.
I agree with you.
Ozzy, that spot over by my house over in Euless Industrial Arlington is moved down the street because it burned down last year.
Ozzy, I used to do appearances
Burn
there.
down.
It did burn down.
I used
last
to do
year.
appearances there, and I will tell you, the money that I got for those appearances did not end up in my pocket.
That is insane. How do you
Give
go
it right
get the
back.
money and leave the money where you got it?
Gave it right back.
Right.
I'll never
Right
understand
back?
that.
Right back.
Like without hesitation.
Back in the day,
My appearance fee was $300,
Oh, okay.
and I'd have about 3 or 4 beers, and
Yeah.
then the rest go elsewhere.
back in the day, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Those are the only places you could go to see big fights. They had you could see MMA.
I thought you was going somewhere else, brother. I thought you were going.
today.
That's the only place you can go.
No.
Because I'm the same way.
I was like,
The pay-per-view events.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah. We got you.
I'm talking about pay-per-view fights. That's where you had to go.
We're with you.
Yeah. No. We
You
just had to picture us because you said that
You
sort
said
of place
big.
to find big.
Pause.
Pay-per-view
Yeah, we got
events. You had to go to those spots to go to watch the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Or
Pay for them yourself. I'm not doing that.
I'm about to say, or you could just pay for them yourself. And it probably turned out cheaper because when you go to those places, you got to buy the drinks, you got to buy the food, and then there's multiple. There's another pay to play.
Anyway.
Pay to
But
play
do
per
not
view.
ever
Anyway.
pay with a credit card at a place like that, at a bar.
Listen.
Because sometimes it takes them like 45 minutes to be able to charge it, and you're going to be stuck up there, and you have to buy other stuff.
They will run it up too.
They don't get you.
I had a friend of mine that got $5,000 in his company credit card.
Company.
Credit card. Well, he was the president of the company.
Oh,
He got $5,000. Got promises made that weren't kept, and he got $5,000 as company credit card.
that's why I don't frequent those places.
Yeah,
took.
you know,
He
it's
fell in love.
Yeah,
He fell
you're
in
right.
love.
You're right.
those places and casinos. Those
Now
places,
you're acting like a writer.
Yeah.
I love it.
those places and the casinos, because I'm aware. I heard tell of a former Dallas Cowboy once upon a time that at the casino, like he would have to just like stand by the ATM until midnight because like his people had set it up. Like, no, you cannot have access to more per day.
That wasn't a real gambler then.
And he had to wait, and he would be like,
That wasn't a-
1201. Like,
That
all right.
wasn't a real gambler.
Well, I'm sure did
Come
you
on,
find your way
Retro.
to casino because they know how much you got. They're like, yeah, we'll front that. No
Oh,
problem.
Unc.
Listen, I've been at casino tables with
ante.
players
Grand
that lost
ante.
120,000,
Yeah.
got a marker for 120,000, won 250, paid the market. I mean, I've been around.
Probably the same player.
Okay, all right.
Probably the same player.
Yeah.
40,
Yeah, same player.
Oh, okay. All right,
that wasn't
all
on
right.
screen.
Yeah.
Anyway,
45 and up, Retro. 45 and up.
let me at least knock out what I wanted to knock out.
What you wanna knock out?
Cowboys.
We'll see you out there.
Cowboys wide receivers. We spent a lot on the first, a lot of time on the first round players. If you had to get lucky, if they don't take a wide receiver in the first
We're
round,
still talking about what we talking about.
Receivers.
Okay, I know we were still talking about those places.
no, eventually you
Get your
gotta.
mind. We are working.
He said get
We
lucky.
are working.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh my!
I meant that in the sense if you need to get lucky, don't go to those places. Like
There's no luck
some
in
of
those
us who are
places.
incredibly handsome, sometimes, but for most folks, they're just going to take you money.
What about the ones that look like an undercover cop?
They gonna
Yeah,
get it.
I
They're
got that.
taking his money. They're taking his money for sure.
I ain't giving no
Oh,
money.
catch you forgot. He looks like an undercover cop. We that's what we decided yesterday.
You know, my dad called me last night. He's like, "You kind of do."
And he would know.
He would know.
He's a secret agent.
He's a secret. He's a secret op.
If the Cowboys don't take a wide receiver in the first round, I just want to drop the names that I think potentially could show up to Cowboys camp and be your number 2 wide receiver, but wouldn't feel nearly as confident about it. So I'd like to introduce everybody to Jaden Higgins at Iowa State. He is the you didn't get that 6'4" receiver. Here's the other one.
Right.
Really nice player at
He
Iowa
can run
State.
too. He ran pretty well at the combine. I
Yeah, he
think.
ran 4.4.
Yeah.
He ran well at the combine.
Yeah.
Elik
Who?
Iomanor.
Yeah, it's I'm an A or I'm Yomanor. Yeah.
Iomanor.
Yeah.
Ayomanor.
Oh.
Ayomanor.
Oh, it's AU Manor or IU Manor.
Io Manor.
Yeah.
Got it. He's kind of built like T.O. Like he's like 6'2", 215.
Stiff though.
I would
not
say
as-
not
not
a
as
great
fluid.
route.
Not
It's
as
weird because
fluid.
I would say he's not fluid all the way through, but for that size, he's super fluid at when you line up to press cover him, he'll hit you with the da-da, and it's like, oh crap. The guy who I don't think of as like a great explosive route runner, that's where he needs to grow. He does have the instant off the line. Bye-bye.
His 2023 game against Colorado. Sheesh.
Yeah, Travis Hunter didn't have fun that day.
Sheesh.
Trey Harris at Ole Miss, I think, is your full-size receiver in this class that I don't have anything that I point to and go, here's why he's awesome. But I don't have anything that I point at and knock it. Like, he is full-size. He is athletic. He'll catch it. Ole Miss is weird. You don't really run a full route tree, but whatever. But yeah.
I'm cool off Ole Miss receivers.
Yeah, but my least favorite offense to ever watch. Y'all remember Corey Coleman at Baylor?
Oh, yeah.
So they used to run mirror routes, like each side runs the same thing a lot of times. And then sometimes
Art
they would
Briles.
know which side of the field it was going to by the pre-snap look, and half the field didn't run a route. Like 25% of the plays, they just stand there and watch them throw to the other side. And I'm like, how are you going to scout for the NFL watching this crap? Jack Bash at TCU is a nice full-size wide receiver that I think will probably be a second-round pick.
And it's interesting that he did not make a visit to the Cowboys for a Dallas Day.
That sounds racist.
Savion Williams did, but he didn't.
Because he was eligible to do it if he wanted.
It's interesting that he did not make.
No, I guess maybe not. No. I always get confused what qualifies against.
Is he white?
Yeah, Jack Bash is
he's
white.
white.
Yeah,
I know he's not, but
yeah,
pretty tough to be racist.
Oh, fair. Jalen Royals, Utah State, and Savion Williams, TCU is the other one that I name. Although I just want to be clear, he is in his entirely own category from the rest of the guys.
Yeah,
like the rest of the guys, you're showing up and like maybe he could be our number 2 wide receiver. He's showing up and you're going, all right, let's figure out if we can teach him to play wide receiver. But damn it, he is 6'5", 225. No one on planet Earth can tackle him, and he is a freak show.
Yeah,
Cordero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a Cordero.
Yeah. He's
Debo Cordero.
Gigantic Debo.
Yeah.
Big Debo.
Coming up next, Mel Kiper has his newest mock draft out, and some things stay the same. Could it really happen? That is next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. And Ozzy, I see your question in the super chat. I will not answer it. How about that?
Where?
Because I want to encourage everybody here, sign up to be a diehard. AllDLLS.com/diehard is where you can do that, or there's a QR code on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Sign up to be a diehard is great. Hold on, let me see where I put my carrying card.
Oh, yeah.
I know I got my carrying card.
Nana boo-boo shells.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nana boo-boo
Shelby was taunting us with her diehard card.
Nana boo-boo.
She did tweet a congratulations to us this morning.
Nah, it's too late. She taunted us 2 weeks in a row. Now we nana boo-boo back to her.
I know every other feature of being a diehard carries more actual value, but it's pretty badass to just carry around a little card. I like it. It sits in here with my preacher card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my Universal Life Church Ministries credential.
Okay.
My credential of ministry for the right price.
Oh my God.
For the right price.
I can join you in marriage in the state of Texas.
And if you pay a little extra, we'll come too.
Yeah. We'll discuss the fees. But we decided to be diehard. You get all sorts of great stuff. You get a free T-shirt when you sign up, which is great. Our merch store is super cool. A lot of cool shirts in there. You get 20% off of other merch. I love our hoodie. It's the thing that I bought first because I thought that looks really cool and it's super comfortable. I love it. You get access, obviously, to all of the things on our website, the premium content from Joe and Clarence when it comes to the Cowboys, plus all the other 3 teams. Yeah, you get scoopage. Also, you get a discount for every event that we have, including our golf tournament on April 25th that we need you to sign up for. We're looking for people to sign up for some. Get out there. It's going to be from morning to mid-afternoon, and then you can go home, and I'll run up here, and we can settle in for day 2 of the NFL draft. So alldlls.com/events.
I got a quick challenge.
You have 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Jesse, I got Patrick Creighton to play in the tournament. I need you to get with some of them Cowboy boys to play in the tournament.
All right, it's the DLLS Cowboys podcast. We are looking forward to our golf tournament that is coming up here on April 25th. If you're out there and you want to sign up for that, we would love it. I'm told that we have a former Cowboys wide receiver, Patrick Creighton, playing in this thing. And I think I could beat him at golf. I haven't golfed in 8 months, but I think I'll be in my prime.
Patrick can swing that thing now.
That's a weird sentence to say.
I'm just saying.
Between that and then your rodeo yesterday.
My rodeo, I was riding that thing.
See?
Yeah, on pause.
See?
I was riding that thing.
He sends a still photo for a rodeo.
Listen.
And then what happened? What happened?
Pull that for social. That'll be the clip we need. I'm riding that thing.
I'm riding that
thing.
Yep.
Listen. That's why I got my hat on right now. I'm a cowboy right now. I got a pinch between my chicken gum. You got a pinch between your chicken gum? I know you're a snuff guy.
I'm not a snuff guy.
He's not a snuff guy.
You know what I am, and it's not a snuff guy. I'm a Lucy man.
No.
He's a company man.
What was it before?
Man.
No,
Grizzly wintergreen long coat.
No, we don't.
Put a pinch between chicken gum, right?
Yeah, that's why my gum line is receded.
Yeah,
all that cancer of all different sorts. That's why I've switched to Lucy.
You should go to the dentist and get regular cleaning.
You got to go to the dentist.
But I already have gaps.
How do you kiss them girls with all that junk in your mouth?
I take it out and I rinse my mouth out. Yeah. Or if I mean,
They gotta
country girl
love
that
you.
got one in too.
They gotta love you.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, I put this hat on because we got a little information this morning regarding a certain Cowboys linebacker who looks like he's going to be Agent Zero again. Nothing official. Stay tuned tomorrow.
Oh, so tomorrow will be official?
But you heard it here.
Agent Zero, you heard it here first. Agent Zero is going to be Agent Zero again, and he's from Arp, Texas, like to wear the cowboy hat, you know.
I don't like how you don't just announce it officially with names. DeMarvion Overshown is going to wear number 0.
Wait, it's not Brandon Aubrey?
DeMarvion Overshown is going to wear number 0. That's a weird color on a super chat.
It's because it's only.
I know it's $1, but I've never seen the dark blue. Shout out to
$1.
Charles.
Does it not have a?
We thank you for that $1, Charles.
Thanks, Charles.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got any more?
Any super chats we got? You ever come across a
That's
Rowdy
it.
Van?
We got him.
Yeah, just Ozzy in there. Okay. Mel Kiper mock draft came out. Is it this morning? Last night?
Yeah, this morning.
One of the two.
Maybe this morning.
And so I went to check it out because I was excited to see what a guy who, I think is plugged in is going to throw out there at the world. Last time it was Omarion Hampton, and I'm like, okay, now we can move on from that nonsense, and then what are we going to do? And I mean that with all due respect. I love Omarion Hampton. I'd be very happy if he was a Cowboy. I don't want it to happen at 12. And so here is the top 11, and we'll get you to Dallas. Cam Ward, number 1 to the Titans, which I think is pretty much a lock at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter to the Browns at number 2.
Might also be a lock.
Abdul Carter at 3 to the Giants. Will Campbell to the Patriots at 4, the LSU offensive lineman. Mason Graham to the Jags at 5. Ash, go ahead.
I just said,
The Jags. I'm just saying.
Little Recky Specky?
Little Recky Specky. Little Recky Specky.
Get Recky Specky.
The Jags can be the team that turns this top 10, 12-ish draft order topsy-turvy.
Yeah.
And here's why I'm saying that. Who's their new head coach?
I don't know.
Liam.
Liam.
Duval. Goofy Duval.
Liam comes from Tampa Bay where he was the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost, offensive-minded, right? He's looking at who's their quarterback?
In Jacksonville?
Sunshine.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, right?
T-Dowell.
They're trying to find a way to revive that career. What was so hopeful years ago. He looked at a situation and go, man, we got Baker Mayfield, and then we paired Baker Mayfield. We had Mike Evans, and we had Godwin. And so I'm just looking at
that tight end that won me the fantasy championship last year.
Oh shoot, what's his name?
It wasn't Brait. What is this?
No.
Stupid? Doesn't matter.
Oh my God, yeah.
K. Dotton. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Jesse.
right.
Great call.
So now you already have Brian Thomas there, which we all agree stud, right? Like
Stud.
didn't get the credit he probably deserved. Might be
the best receiver out of that draft class that had
Neighbors,
Marvin
right.
Harrison and Malik Neighbors in it. Might be.
So Liam Cohen can look up and go, Brian Thomas on one side.
Mm-hmm.
Tetero McMillan, Luther Burton, Matthew Golden on the other side
Tyler Warren
gives me something that looks very similar to what I had in Tampa Bay. And then now that may bring up a receiver who maybe we were thinking about at 12 that may go a little earlier than expected because of the people that are in place there and what they're looking at. I'm just saying that Jacksonville can throw things a little bit, but it can also get very sexy.
They would have to really like one of those receivers at 5.
It could be very sexy for the Cowboys because now you start talking about, okay, Mason Graham now is available.
And if you could make this stretch even further, throw a quarterback in.
Right.
Like, what if Shador goes earlier? Now Jacksonville takes a receiver, which means Mason Graham and one of Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Will Campbell, and maybe the Cowboys aren't interested in offensive line. But yeah, if there's a world where Mason Graham gets to, I hate trading up for non-quarterbacks. If there's a world where Mason Graham starts making his way to 8, I'm like, guys, I feel real good about that prospect and not the rest of the
because
guys.
Mel, let's just say they took a receiver, right? Jacksonville, yeah. So now Mason Graham's available. So now
Genty to the Raiders at 6.
Sounds about solid.
Jets, Armand Membo, or we also have Shador Sanders as a possibility somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But we could say Membo goes. Carolina at 8 would probably, I would imagine, take Mason Graham.
Probably.
And so you may have to
They
go
want
with 8.
D-line, I think.
What are the Saints pick? Because I think they're going to take
Saints are
Sanders.
9. That's going to be Shador.
I think they're going to take Sanders.
Yeah.
I think he does not get past the Saints.
And that's what Mel Kiper has. He has Jalen Walker 8, Shador Sanders at 9, Tyler Warren at 10, Will Johnson at 11, and at 12, he did it again. Omarion Hampton.
He's doubling down, tripling down.
And
on
I
this,
don't
I just don't see it.
As a guy who's making mock drafts, I would think you would do different things, especially if it's not like in the top 3 or 4 where you feel really confident that's happening. So I'm just surprised that he did that again, and it's making me wonder, like, is this actually possible? I like Omarion Hampton. I very much dislike Omarion Hampton at the 12th overall pick, and that's just it's twice in a row.
I bet
three
you
times, actually.
3 times. It's 3 times.
Is Mel done it 3 times?
Yeah,
3 times now.
I just think he just. I just don't see it. I just don't think the Cowboys. You know, just talking to the Cowboys and talking to Shotty and him saying it has to be a special back to use that pick on
and he's quite good.
I know, but what if they
think
view him as a special
They could
back?
think of him as special. And I'll tell you, Omarion Hampton. So when I do draft stuff, sometimes a name does pop in my head. When I'm watching a guy, I'm like, oh, that looks like, and sometimes it doesn't. And then I'll hear people say a name, and I'm like, not really.
Comps can get wild.
And I've heard people comp Omarion Hampton to different people, and I'm like, it's not. I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that. But ESPN did an article today where a lot of their comps, I was like, absolutely not. But the Omarion Hampton one, I went, absolutely, they're right.
Right.
Joe Mixon.
Right. And
that's who I think he is.
And would
Joe
anybody
Mixon.
ever take Joe Mixon in any draft at 12? And I don't
loved
think
him
so.
as a prospect.
Right, but he was. Would he go 3rd round, 2nd round?
Second round.
Was he a 2nd round?
Second
But he
round,
also had things.
Well, we know he had off the field things, but I don't think he was ever.
If he didn't have that moment in the diner, he might have been a 1st round pick.
He was never 12 high.
I think if he didn't have the diner thing, he would have been a top.
It depends
15.
who you ask. Like, I thought he was in the McCaffrey draft, right?
Was he the McCaffrey
If I remember
draft?
right, whatever year it was, whoever was universally loved, I liked Mixon just as much. Like, that's how good I thought he was.
What does that sound like?
What?
I mean, just Ashton Jancy and Marion Hampton. I mean,
yeah, but I don't.
But you don't like it. I know.
Yeah, but
no.
I mean, I'm one person, right?
But
Cowboys
what
don't
if
give a
someone?
crap.
But
And
what if
somebody
someone
could?
does?
And somebody could. Maybe they do like him that much. I don't need that. And by the way, Jesse, to your point, and I would say this is why the Cowboys might need to be considering, if they don't go wide receiver in the 1st round, being ready to trade up in the 2nd round to get one of those top 4 wide receivers. In Mel Kiper's mock draft at number 36 overall, Jacksonville didn't get their receiver at number 5. They got Emeka Egbuka at 36.
Right. Yeah, you're not getting one at 40.
Luther Burden goes 38.
Yeah.
Who's got 38?
New England.
Yeah.
And so if you don't go wide receiver in the 1st and you get to the end of day 1 of the draft and Burden or Egbuka is still available, get on the phone, Cowboys. We need to get to the top of the 2nd round and get one.
Because there's teams in front of you that will take a wide receiver.
And one thing, I know Mel has done it 3 straight times. It was like, what does he know? I don't think Mel has sources inside the Cowboys building like that. I don't think people inside the building talk.
Like you guys would know.
Yeah. I don't think that he talks to people in the building like that.
No, I think he's just going off of he thinks that they really want to run the ball and he
Right.
really likes
because
Hampton.
based on what he said, well, they picked the running, they picked Emmitt Smith. I mean, you trying to connect dots based on past history, and I don't think it applies here.
He also, I mean, in his write-up on the pick, he's like,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm torn because I think they need a playmaking wide receiver next to CeeDee Lamb, but they also need a running back. So I think, in your point, I bet you he's heard, oh, hey, they love Omarion
I just
Hampton.
think he just connected.
But do they love him at 12 or 44?
And Mel says, but I'm not sure Texas's Matthew Golden or Arizona's Teteroa McMillan will go quite this early. And I'm like,
then
you're saying the 2nd running back will, but the 1st receiver
that
won't?
made no sense to me.
Yeah,
I agree with you. That made no sense to me.
Yeah, so we're going to have to make some moves, ladies and gentlemen. If we don't go wide receiver in the 1st round, we're going to have to make some
I do
moves.
too, Super Chat.
Charles, what really is the holdup between Jerry and Agent? Well, they still got a whole offseason to get headlines.
Jerry, stubborn.
Yeah, Jerry don't have to call the agent yet.
Jerry does what Jerry does.
Headlines.
But I would like to point out, just like with the Demo getting 0, you can't fight City Hall. Jerry will give in.
Yeah, no.
He will get in. And I'm telling you,
I've been to this place.
And when this comes out, this is excitement for the fan base. They will sell out of jersey sales with 0 again. A lot of people they're gonna sell out of 0 jerseys.
Yeah.
And so this is something that excites the fan base.
Now go sign my
in a whole off season.
Yeah.
This is some exciting news for Cowboy fans.
Jerry's good at
That's
that.
why they're gonna make a big production out of it tomorrow.
Aaron's in the super chat. Coach Shoddy joked about being offensive coach based on free agency. I hope he gets offense. First 2 picks. Receiver.
Running back. Yeah.
Running back. That would be the odds on favorites, right?
Yeah.
We
I
got
think
one more quickly.
That's probably what they want to do. Manny did it. Look who is already on the roster. Javante's the hammer, and they'll be looking for their knife. Hampton is too similar to Javante. I think you overestimate how much Javante matters. I think they want their number one running back. And plus,
whatever that may be.
And Javante, you could call him the hammer, but really he's a third down catch ball block guy.
That's a dull hammer.
Which also Hampton can do. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Good talk. See you out there. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminate the contingencies.